2xKO is coming out tomorrow, and I can't believe that that is a sentence that I'm saying to you in earnest right now. It's been such a long time getting to this moment. I mean, since the moment that Radiant got bought out by Riot, it's been like almost 10 years, and it's coming out tomorrow, and that is a really weird thing to accept. But it's also something that I'm incredibly ready to throw myself into 100%. Years ago, I said to myself that I would be the best player in the entire world of this game. And that starts with being the best player in OCE, and that starts with being the best player in New Zealand, and that starts with being the best player in my city, and that starts here. This is a really like different type of video to the stuff that I normally make. It's not scripted. I'm kind of just saying things. It's going to be a lot more candid. It's meant to just act as a sort of video journal from me to document my progression, how I'm going about improving at 2xKO, the steps I'm taking, the stuff I'm learning, all that kind of stuff. Because a lot of people, you don't really see the progression of someone going from, you know, a lower intermediate level player to a top level player. Top level players just kind of appear at some point, and then people become aware of them. What I want to do with this series is actually show you guys day by day, step by step, all of the things that I'm doing to get from where I am now to being the best in the world. So a bit about where I am now. In 2019, I started competing in Smash in my local scene. I played that for a couple years. I did pretty good, but then I was kind of grading on the competitive scene. I mean, there's a lot of stuff about that game that makes it unstable for a competitor, not to mention the whole like Nintendo's relationship with the competitive scene and everything. And then what was then at that time the Project L trailer came out, and I watched it and I just fell in love. It was so cool. It was everything that I wanted in a fighting game, or everything that I thought I wanted at that point. And I mean, I still do. So that was the moment where I decided that I wanted to compete in 2xKO instead of in Smash. And so at that point, I kind of had two routes to go. I could have just like gone really hard into playing fighting games and competing in them at a high level so that I could like be competitively ready for 2xKO when it comes out. But the thing about making a career out of fighting games is that, and I'm sure you guys are aware of this, it's really hard to compete. It's really like inherently unstable to make a living off competition. So instead of that, I went the content route, right? I started the YouTube channel. I started posting a bunch of videos on there. I wanted to build that platform up as much as I can so that when 2xKO comes out, I have, you know, a decent fan base, and I have that content farm that can be generating revenue while I'm practicing and making more videos and stuff like that. And I think that's gone pretty well. I mean, you know, 26K isn't the biggest thing in the world, but it's a decent place to start. And I'm hoping that with 2xKO coming out, I'll be able to grow that even more, etc., etc. I've been mainly doing shorts content, but like before this, but now that 2xKO is here, I am going to make an effort to make more full-length content. I actually have a really meaty video coming out soon, so fingers crossed that that one does well. I am also going to stream eventually. That's not something that I can do right now because I'm a bit bogged down with like actual like money making work. And also I'm still like a student in university, so I need to graduate with that. But once that's all sorted, I should have plenty more time to stream and hang out with you guys more directly. And then that's going to be alongside these videos, which is just me talking about how my day went and practicing the things that I did, the people that I played against, the lessons that I learned, stuff like that. But since it's day 0 and I don't really have anything to show right now because I can't play the game, I'm just going to show you guys sort of an outline of what my practice is going to look like. So firstly, I'm a big note taker. I really like documenting things, and whenever I have a thought in my head, I like to write it down. It helps me process it a bit more. So what I'm doing here is I've got documents for each of the different characters. I'm just gonna like everything I know about every character in the game, I'm gonna write down on the thing so that I can really cement that knowledge in my head. And of course, I'll make that resource available to you guys as well so that, you know, we can rising tide lifts all boats and whatever. I also have this page that's going to be a bit more personal. I don't think I'm going to make this publicly available. It's just going to be for me to critically reflect on how my matches are going, what I'm thinking about in the middle of the game, stuff that I'm having trouble dealing with, stuff that I'm trying to currently implement, just as a tool to really focus on my practice and condense it down to make sure that it's always productive. Because a lot of people, when they practice, they just kind of play and they don't really think about what they're doing. but if I have this document where I'm writing down specifically what I'm practicing on, and as I'm playing, I'm reflecting on my play and getting ideas for stuff to work on in the future, then that should make my practice a lot more efficient. In terms of the specific stuff I'm going to be doing to practice, I've kind of split everything that most people do in order to practice into 4 main categories: experiencing, reflecting, thinking, and applying. And these are all based on this one Armada video, Learning How to Learn, which is fantastic, by the way. I'll link it in the description. Really, really good video for anyone trying to learn anything. But a basic overview of how that structure works: experiencing is just playing the game, playing at your maximum capacity, putting yourself in that environment where you're really, really trying to win. Reflecting is more thinking about your play, identifying holes in your game plan, noting where things gone wrong, like what things you were having trouble with. Thinking is figuring out ways to patch up those holes in your game plan, and figuring out ways to deal with the stuff that you were struggling with. And applying is getting those thoughts to a point where you can put them into your experiencing part. And that kind of acts as like a loop, right? So you experience something, you reflect on it, you think about how to make that better, and then you apply that, and then you go back to experiencing, and then goes over and over again until you're good. In terms of what specifically goes into the respective categories, experiencing is like ranked grinding, like really hard competitive sets, and also competing in brackets. Reflecting is mainly VOD review. There's going to be a lot of VOD review, looking over my past matches and seeing what's going on, but also dedicated time to reflect, even just like directly after a match, thinking, okay, how did that feel? What was I having trouble with? And that's what a lot of the documentation is for. Thinking is stuff like labbing, watching other players that are better than me, seeing how they deal with those situations, studying my opponents in general, looking for tech online, talking to players about situations that I'm struggling with, that sort of stuff. And then applying, a lot of it is training mode just to get the muscle memory in, but another thing that really helps alongside that is to play like lower stakes matches, so like casuals or matches against people that are way worse than me, so that I can practice implementing that behavior in a way that's like, I don't have to focus 100% on winning. I can just focus on doing the specific thing that I'm trying to implement. This is a structure that's worked really well for me in Smash. It's a structure that, I mean, obviously Armada recommends it, and he's like one of the goats of Melee. So it's very, very good. The main thing, if you were to take away anything from this video, it's just like, think about what you're doing. Really, you can't just play. You got to really critically think about how you're going about things and how you're going to move forward. And then lastly for today, I just want to talk about the specific brackets that I'm going to be entering. So I'm in New Zealand. I'm not in like NA or Japan or like EU or whatever. So the scene is a little bit scarce, but there's enough excitement around 2xKO to the point where there's a number of locals that are popping up. So there are 3 weekly online brackets that I'm going to be entering, one on Monday, one on Thursday, and one on Friday. There are probably going to be more that pop up every now and then, but those are like the main 3. And then on some Saturdays, there are going to be in-person locals that I'll travel to attend. So on those specific days, expect for those brackets to be a big part of my reflection, talking about how the brackets went, talking about how I was feeling during them, talking about the mistakes I made, all that sort of stuff. Oh, and I also wanted to talk about the teams that I was thinking about playing. There's a bunch of characters that look really, really interesting. Before Blitzcrank was announced, I thought I was going to do Vi Jinx, because Vi Jinx with Double Down looks really, really strong. I've talked about it at length, but I might as well talk about it at length here as well. It's just, with Double Down specifically, the synergies that those two have are really, really strong. Jinx Beam into tag just wins you neutral for free. Vi's Pillar Super, if you tag into Jinx, it gives her like 5 seconds to set up whatever projectiles she wants. Vi's like Pillar works really well for Jinx's zoning. And Jinx's projectile works really well for Vi to be able to get in easily. They complement each other super, super well. And I think that might be a very strong team, but I also don't know how good Jinx is going to be. So I'm not 100% sure about that, especially because Blitzcrank just got revealed and he looks crazy strong. They've given him so many different tools and a restand, which is disgusting. The restand does kind of steer you in a particular direction. Like Vi Blitzcrank probably isn't that good because Vi can't really take advantage of the restand as well as someone like Ari or Yasuo, who can get like high-low, left-right mix-ups really, really easily. So Ari Blitzcrank might be the play, especially because that's the team that Sonic Fox is going to play. And Sonic Fox is a maniac on the sticks, and they're going to figure out the cheapest shit like immediately. So yeah, I'll probably be playing Ari Blitzcrank tomorrow, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. That's the whole that's the whole point of the thing. It is really, you guys are gonna get to see how rambly I am through this thing, because in my like short content, I get the chance to be really like, I spend so much time narrowing the scripts down so that they're concise and snappy and don't waste time. And this is so not that. I'm just kind of sitting down with my microphone and just saying shit. And so I'm gonna get the chance to be a lot more rambly than I normally get to be, which is how I generally discuss things with people. I just kind of say shit. I'm a lot less concise than my shorts may give you the impression of. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say for now. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. Obviously, I've been wanting to compete in this game for so long, so finally getting the chance to, it almost like doesn't feel real. I don't know how I'm gonna sleep tonight. I might get my brother to like knock me the fuck out. I really truly feel that this is the beginning of something special, and I look forward to being able to share on that journey with you guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Looking forward to playing the game. Hop in the Discord, run some games with me. Would love to. But yeah, I'm at the danger of either A, getting emotional, or B, rambling on for another half an hour. So I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.